What's up, guys? It is the bad werewolf himself, the man in black, the bad wolf, here to bring you guys some more fire ass information. As always, please check out www.jamesclovett.com to watch my free videos, the video seminars, discounted, low cost, some free, some full price. But nonetheless, go there, join the newsletter there, or go to blacksite32.com and join the newsletter there. Help me to stay in touch with you guys, or just watch the videos because I'm sure I'm not being suppressed at all. I'm sure the 3,000 people that went missing on my mail list for the newsletter and products bought, I'm sure that was just a server glitch. Anyway, so also, can you make sure that you hit that bell, like, subscribe, and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel because people have told me that they have been unsubscribed for some reason. How odd. It's almost like it's some form of gang stalking or suppression of rights and freedoms and liberty. Nah, that's not a thing. Not in America. Anyway, so this particular video is going to be titled something along the lines of separating the straw man or you are not a slave. Maybe I'll dedicate it to God rest his soul, Ron Gibson of the Land Patent. Think he gave me another book before he died. Let's see. Pretty sure he did. Yes, he did. This is one of the other very little known books Ron Gibson put out. I don't know if his estate are carrying on any of his stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys some of this information. We're going to do some videos on it for Ron. Like I said, we had an agreement for me selling his books at the time. Uh, I don't know if, hold on, let me see here. I highly doubt he would have copywrote any of this. If he did, I don't see it in the book. Let's open another page or two to make sure. Um, no, I don't believe he has copywritten or protected any of it. It's also out there in the public domain now, so free use, educational use. Um, I'll make videos on it. I will not take it and make copies and sell them, um, just out of respect for him and his estate, but we will talk about what's in it from an educational and review perspective. So we're going to basically title this "You Are Not a Slave." Uh, but that's not fully what this video is about. This video is that you are not a slave, but your straw man is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And this, to me, may not be a long video, but it's to me, it's one of the most important videos I think I've made or ever will make. And I'm gonna give you guys the what they call the executive summary version. I'm not gonna go into all the minutia of it. But you guys, if this is your first time here, man, you're starting at, well, the water is always fine, so you're always welcome. But this is more of an advanced knowledge video. So I'm gonna try to say it in such a way that anybody watching this video first time can flow with this. Okay, hold on. We're getting a little chuppy here. One second. All right, we should be good now. That legitimately might not have been them. I did have another application open. Um, so separating the straw man. First of all, we got to start off what is the straw man? So the straw man, or also known as the nom de guerre, which is Latin for war name, the legal person, a term of art, a term of fiction, a legal entity, is a construct made within the legal jurisdiction. It's not you, it's a fictional person. And this fictional person has was created to have the same name that you have. When I say that, it's understanding, it's overstanding that when you were born, and most of the people in the states and the government and whatever else, they don't know this information. They don't study the law on the legal level. I have yet to have one legal entity battle me on this, and the average court and whoever else has battled me on this has lost every time. But a lot of them don't know because they don't study the law on the legal level. So that'd be like me saying, "Oh, well, the word drive means to an operation of in the world of commerce for profit and gain, in the exchange of goods and services." And you'd be like, "Oh my God, listen to this guy." But that's a fact. So many people on a daily basis are used to using these words and phrases, and then they don't question anything. They don't even know where to start because this shit right here, son, is for people with keen minds and high intelligence, like people in the legal department. My hat goes off to you. My hat goes off to the people who write for Cornell Law EDU who've seen that I was right in the various places I showed where there was errors. Yes, I corrected the law library right from my little room. They seen it. They challenged it in the legal department. Legal said he's right. Department of State, my hat goes off to your legal department because somebody there brought this information to them, which tells me that you guys and other agencies and law enforcement watched my shit too. Hey guys, and found out I was right again. And they changed the passport a couple of times now because that's my specialty. And I really didn't even go over it with a fine tooth comb. If you guys really wanted me to go over it, you got to pay me if you want me to really do your work for you. But I know you guys won't because you have a whole division set up for that. But anyway, I digress. So when all of us living beings were born, we had then what was known as a given name, ergo living, a living name, a given name by our family. What we didn't know is that what the corporation, refers to that we've adopted as the last name, the surname, servant name, that's not what it really is. Now the Christians will say, "Oh, it's your Christ name or what," and that's fine too for people who are Christians. In the real world, what we now call inappropriately as our last name is actually our tribe. It's our nation. It's our house. It's our empire. For some people, it's your clan. Whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. Native Americans don't have last names. Now, even a lot of Native Americans today have adopted that as being their last name. But no, the Sioux, the Cherokee, the Apache, the Creole, the whatever, the Blackfoot, the Blackfeet, even you, if you were born in Germany or whatever else, the moment you were born here, and I don't know how it is over in Germany or wherever else, but you became a Native American the moment you were born here. Hell, even some of the first white people legally became Native Americans by the, what was it, the Dollar Native American Act or whatever else it is. You could be considered a Native American. So there were white people even then buying into being Native Americans. A lot of people of color, some of my family included, were already here. They were indigenous people. They didn't come over on boats. You think all of the people of color here, you think all of them were just Native Americans? Hell, even though a lot of the Native Americans were actually of Asian descent. And if you go back far enough, and this might turn off some of the people out there, these lands, Amu Ra Khans, which means land of the feathered serpent or the snake priests, was the countryside of the Atlantean people, which Atlantis is based in Africa in the Sahara Desert known as the Richard structure. It's what it is. That's where it is. They've known about it for years. It's not underwater, but there are sections of it in the Atlantic Ocean to here that are underwater. That's why we found the Bimini stones and the pyramids off of the coast of Cuba. That was above water at one point in time, people. Stop letting them try to throw you off. Oh, this guy's talking about Atlantis. I'm telling you right now, every single place where they tell you not to look is like being in a magic show. Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Look at me. Because they don't want you to know what's really there. If they're handing you shit, this is what they want you to know and focus on. But you need to also be paying attention to that which they don't want you to look at, that which is mythical or not real. There's truth in all of it. Everything came from somewhere. Now, some things might have been embellished. That I'll give you. Subject to interpretation, also fine. Let's get back to it. So, your name is part of your house, your lineage. You are a Native American. Your first and middle name, if you have one, is your name. Your last name is your tribe. That's how it works. The House of L, the House of Lovett, the Lovett House, whatever you want it to be, that's really what it is as your Native American names. We're all Native Americans. Everybody, black, white, gay, straight, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Asian, German, whatever. You're all Native American. That's how it works. Now, from that given living Christian name, appellation, whatever, like so many other people from other countries who came here, the United States Corporation mutilated or transmuted per the Palms manual, they transmute the given name, changed your natural aspect of your name and converted and created a piece of it, made a doppelganger. They cloned your name and made a legal version of it. That's why in so many documents it's called a legal name. Because if you want to do things in their political, legal hemisphere, you have to have a name. When I was in a gang years ago, you had to have a gang name. You didn't walk up and be like, yo, what's up? They know me as James Lovett in this bitch. Yeah, it's my gang name. That's your government name to my black people out there. Now, does this mean that your given name is gone and destroyed? Is it gone? No. You still have the right to use it. Some places still ask for your given name on their documents. But has it been tainted? Has it been tainted to the point where using it most places now it's construed, though not known to you, but in the system as being a legal name? Yeah, because they're spelled identical. This is why people who argue, "Oh, that's not my name. It's a straw man." The only thing different about the spelling of your name as a legal name and your spelling of your name as a given name or faith name, private name, whatever, is the formatting, the capitalization and the formatting of it. The capitalization and the formatting are known in the UCC book under one UCC 1-201 definitions, conspicuous format. This is why in the states here, the corporation, the corporate part of the states, they don't know this. Their legal department knows it. The police don't know this. Police don't know why they write a name in all caps on all their tickets and things, why their name is in all caps on their own badges. Hold on. System's freaking out again. It's a brand new computer, so it shouldn't be doing this, and it's got more than enough RAM to capability to handle what I'm doing. And I don't have many things open on my desktop, so. But anyway, I digress. So they don't know what we're talking about. The legal department are almost the only ones who look up the UCC code because the state ofs are all for-profit corporations who are under the jurisdiction of the UCC. The UCC was put together by American people adopting the system, either directly or knowingly or unknowingly, from the European British system, who was also under the UCC, controlled by the various elite around the world. Some people call it Unidroit. Some people say Unidroit's then owned by the Vatican, etc. Actually would make a lot of sense. But anyway, these people own words, codes, systems, and this type of jurisdiction. Once again, that has its ancient roots in Phoenician, Atlantean, etc., etc., etc. They all used it way back in the day. And if you go back farther than that, supposedly it was brought to us by off-world beings and entities. So who knows? All right, some of that's lost to antiquity, but you know what? We'll leave that one. Okay, let's get back to present day. So your name, a piece of it was taken, the natural part of it was shaken off, it was cloned, turned into a dead legal person, a term of art. Non-natural. Natural, private, living, de jure, de facto, which means void of facts, dead, legal, man-made, God-made. You with me? Cool. These are separate jurisdictions, and then there's subcategories and all these other things, right? But that's the main line. So your name, once it became a legal person, it was actually and is a separate thing from you. But in their world, they argue up and down that it is you. It cannot be actually and physically you. When you create something that's artificial, like even this shirt, I can wear this shirt and I can fight, I can do all these things, but me and the shirt are still two different things. But they're saying, yeah, but when you whooped his ass, you had that shirt on. So you're basically the same thing. That's how they look at your name in the legal court system. There are rules under capitalization which clearly denote what this is. Sure, it sounds crazy to the average person, but sorry, but the average person has an IQ of like what, 80? Well, my most recent tests have mine at about 170. So we're not the same. No disrespect, just the facts. And if you're not smart, you can read books to become smarter. That's how it works. Now, they have, and when you look at the Palms manual, and I've made many videos on this, it says we transmute the given name into a legal name. They tell you right there. So there is no fucking argument about this. When I did a FOIA request on my application for the Social Security number, it said James C. Lovett, and then it says doing business as. Why would they have that for a Social Security application for your name? It's not an EIN, or is it? In fact, it is. It's a type of EIN. That's why they can be used interchangeably, but it's not the same. An EIN is for an employer. Social Security is for the employed. But as a citizen, U.S. citizen, 14th Amendment, a trustee like them, or it can be used for the national, who's only temporarily residing and wanting to be somewhat looked at as a member of theirs while still retaining their rights. So the Social Security number can be taxable and have zero tax obligation. You can't say it's tax exempt. Only they, the creators of the tax world, can give that to something. A national has no obligation to file taxes. I'm not a good or a product or a service. If I provide those things to large quantities of people or their people, the public, 14th Amendment US citizens, though everybody's a US citizen and a national, just depends on which side you're using. Most people operate as a citizen. Then that's considered to be a part of their domain. You're doing something that they can then say, well, what you're doing is part of our jurisdiction to our people. Pay us money, and that's why they tax your home, your car, your whatever, this, that, and the other. Now, one of the biggest things I've always said is we need to learn this, that which I just told you, and then how to separate the straw man. So, how do we, in fact, separate the straw man? Why? Should we? Do we need to? No. But what is separating a straw man? Separating a straw man is overstanding that they have tainted your given name and they created a legal person. So your given name is now tainted. Anywhere where James C. Lovett is, they can say, well, we have a James C. Lovett in our system, a legal person. So we get to administrate everything under James C. Lovett. And that's legally true. But that's also because they're operating on the assumption that I'm under 18 and still in my minor account, which is where they have legal jurisdiction over me. I'm not under 18. I'm 18 and over. That's the age of majority where I'm supposed to get all my stocks, bonds, access to the trust, all my stuff. And then they push me out into the world and say, well, if you ever need to come back or you want to do anything with us, we're still here. But I'm supposed to have gone out and become or lived my life as a national, seeing how they brought me in as a kid. And my mom, technically, you're a mom too, who was a parent, a pair of renters, who had a child, it's different than an offspring, gave us up as wards to the system. They gave us over to them as baby trustees and they took our names. They didn't know what they were doing. Then at 18, we leave and they give us all of our stuff. But there's no law that says they have to teach us what it is, how to get it, how to access any of it, how to use any of it, what it is, or anything also about being in the private. They have no obligation to do that. There's nothing there, no law on it. There should be, and we should be taught all of this. Ergo, anything that we get into is really under fraud and deceit, coercion, which makes it non-binding, non-legal, if you really want to break it down. Because in order to be involved in any contract, we have to have the rules, the agreements, sign for these things, be in the knowledge, have the brain capacity to understand what's going on. And if not, then we're deemed incompetent, which is why we end up having to go to court a lot of times because they're saying, well, you're incompetent to handle your own affairs. You couldn't talk this out with the person you got into a car accident with or you got into a fight with. So now you're here. And we're here to judge the matter as citizens, not nationals, not under common law. So if you guys like this content, please join me over on jamesclovett.com. Watch the videos over there. Some are free right now, some are discounted. Thank you for the support. It helps me to keep the lights on, take care of my family, my friends, things of that nature. And I also do donate some of that money back to your regularly scheduled program. So, do we need to separate? No, you don't have to. Once you understand what's going on, but what are the methods to separating it? Well, when you create a business, you've created a new legal person for you to operate as if it's yourself. That's what a business is. It's an extension of you within the legal jurisdiction to do business of whatever type so authorized and regulated in their world that shares the same geographical area as the private. Your passport. Your passport. Your passport, and I'm going to say this and put this out here right now. Understand that the government does not create a national ID. Why not? Because if they created a national ID, it's for nationals. You guys do understand when they say the national debt that they're talking about the money they owe us as nationals, right? The Native Americans. You guys real do know that, right? They're indebted to us. The United States corporation is a debt instrument, the debt person. It is indebted to us. They don't create a national passport because then they would have to say Floridian, New Yorker, Wisconsinite, Californian, Arkansan, etc. on it. Then that means more people are going to say, well, what is that? I mean, I know we've used that term, but that has its own legal standing in law. That's a thing. Yeah, it is. Now, ChatGPT, because it's a product of theirs, and even with the script, decides that it still wants to, lie. Was like, well, the national has never been codified. That's true to a degree because it has. 8 USC 1401, 8 USC 1503, 8 USC 1101A 22B. So it has been codified, but the system lies and hides it. So they don't want to create a national card because then other people are going to want to know what that is. And then that then turns into, well, what applies to nationals and what doesn't apply to nationals? When everybody had the COVID 19, um, they were only talking to US citizens, which legally is only the part of you that wants to abide by that. Who could not abide by that? Police officers, judges, postal workers, anybody who services the public, those are US citizens. Nationals that doesn't apply to. And the gold heist, well, they took all of our gold. They were only talking to US citizens, not nationals. Do you see how they may not want that to be known? Which is why I'm glad this is education and entertainment from the private judge of Lovitica. Yeah, I'd be doing some things. Neutral party, entertainment purposes only. So that must mean there's way more power there than what we know or realize. But some people can't handle that power, but yet they're all entitled to it. Yet we have a system in place where if somebody does too much as a national with that power, they can be arrested because that's what the law enforcement's there for. But you know who they can control even more so? A 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, a legal person, a member of theirs, because those people don't have freedoms and liberties. They have benefits and privileges and handed over legal rights, not constitutional. Depending on which mode you operate in, you either have all of your rights, freedoms, and liberty, or you've got what's in box number two, and you've been living in that capacity your entire life. Anybody who's against this information is a traitor to the United States, period. It's acting funny. I'll wait till it's done. And we're back. Either system memory low usage or someone hacking into my feed or disrupting it. I went to school for electrical engineering, technology, and software development, so I kind of know these things. Anyway, so knowing now that those are two separate things and you have both, some people don't believe that, that's fine. Look up 8 8 FAM 301.1-1 letter B, and it talks about the difference between the national and the citizen. And if you don't believe you're born with both, look up 8 USC 1401A, national and citizen at birth. So you get both. I've proven this 1,000 times. So that being the case, if you separate the straw man, you're showing that these are two separate things. By these things being two separate things, they both then have different responsibilities, capabilities, powers, limitations, and one has restrictions and the other one has very few. I mentioned the passport and I mentioned they don't create a national ID. The law states that anywhere where the government does not provide you with something, you have the ability to do or create your own. And if it's not hurting anybody, it's not against the law. And if it's never been outlawed, it can be done, like right to travel. To those people out there who used to be on our side and are now traitors to right to travel and certain other things. See, we don't have to have a law in place that tells us we can do something. We only need a law in place to tell us we can't do something, and there's no law against right to travel. And the Supreme Court and federal courts have already ruled on it. And there's different types of travel. There's travel between the states, and then there's traveling privately in your own automobile. Like I made in the one video. When did the car I just bought that says automobile on that sheet and title and everything, when did it become a motor vehicle? It's nowhere on there is it described as a motor vehicle until after you register it, because you're registering it into their jurisdiction, a member of theirs. In the old days, some people used to be in gangs. This was their symbol. There's also gangs that go down like this. All right. Well, the moment you join a gang, you got to start rocking their colors, speaking their language. Well, rocking their colors in the public would be black. Oh, son of a bitch. But black doesn't also have to always be theirs. But using words like drive, driver, commerce, traffic, patrol car, cruiser, citation, these are all commercial words. So it's like when you register, you're joining a gang. It's almost like when you get a birth certificate from the state, you're joining because they, and you go to the bank or whatever else and say, well, you need to prove residency, residency. You must prove that you've resided. You go join, must prove that you joined our gang. Right in black. Call yourself a U.S. citizen, 14th Amendment. Check that box. We need a piece of mail with your name in all capitalized letters on it and your zip code. Show us you're a member of ours. Now, the federal government, though not intrinsically American, but within our family, operating as trustees and subordinate to we the people, subordinate to the Constitution. The states are subordinate to the government, but they are their own entity, not completely sovereign. The state ofs, the republic of that state is different, but nobody uses the republic. Well, not many, but it's growing. We are the ones when operating from the private with the power. And your name on the government level, by their rules of capitalization per the GPO style manuals, and which, by the way, guys, isn't it about time for you guys to update that thing? I mean, the last one was 2000, what, 18 years, 20 years ago? I think we need to commission a new one, guys. Just saying. But if you read through any of the old ones, it does say that they do not go by any ceremonies or local, etc., uses of capitalization. Why would they say that? because they know that the state ofs operate under the UCC and the use of capitalized lettering on the state level documents like your birth certificate and lower, not the federal government, but the state ofs and lower are operating under the UCC. And when you look in the UCC under definitions, conspicuous format, UCC 1-201, you find where it says the larger character formatting of the words is commercial. The extremely small and tiny is commercial. The color, the italic, the underline, when used by anybody within our system, which would be the state ofs, the police departments, and the courts, etc., it is commercial in nature. Did I stutter? I mean, I know a second ago they did the whole wavy thing again because, by separating your name, untransmuting, you are separating the living you from being mistaken as the living from the dead, the name, the mask, the jester mask of the legal person. You're an actor. Police officers, judges, etc., politicians, they're all actors. They're putting on a play. This is the play that they, because a play means not the real thing, right? So this is not the real world. They registered us into the world of the dead, the fantasy island, the island. They take it very serious and like it's real. They act like it's very real. They put lives on the line like it's real. It's essentially real, but it's not the real world of the living. It's based on the 1666 Sesta v. Act, trusts and dead things. It's make believe, but we've entertained and now exist within that game called the public. So by separating that, now, but Wolf, you keep mentioning the passport. How? But so it's like this. There's a couple of different ways you can do this, and I've never seen anybody make any videos on this. If you can get your name changed, or you get the Department of State to accept you're a different name than what's on your state provided birth certificate, then the government will have and respect your real given name. The states in that actor world, the public, will still have your de facto legal nom de gore term of art legal person legal name. Now, is there a big huge huzzah thing that happens? No, no, but it's you knowing who you really are and being able to use a thing. Just like right now, if you were to create a business with your same name, you've created a doppelganger again of your name. It has a clone. My legal name, James C. Lovett, and then I create James C. Lovett, the LLC or the INC. It's a clone of a clone of the original. Do you have to separate the straw man? No. Well, could you go to court and do a name change? You could, but then the courts, which are the part of the legal department and system, now have your new private name. And you're asking another man or woman for the authority to change your name, but they're only changing your legal name. Could you use reverse psychology and change your legal name away from? Could I go to the court and say, yeah, I want to create a name called Bob Jebediah Smith Ezekiel or whatever, and then that becomes my legal name, thereby separating me with my other things with James C. Lovett? Absolutely. There's more than one way to play the game, guys. They can't guard all the doors. There's ways to be free and to go out into the savage wilderness as a native and national. But what I teach you guys is how to use the best of both worlds, the city, cities, property of the city, and the savage, the private, the natural, the national. And then what the bad of both of those sides are. How to live in the city, do commerce, how to be savage and wild and private, respectful, non-belligerent, not combatant over here. But they don't like that because if you're able to do that smoothly, you can influence how much is over here. But if they keep you mentally always over here, then you can't build your wealth and be private over here. You keep all the money over here in the city and your control and your kids. Now, this doesn't mean you have to probably leave the city physically, but you could make your own compound in your own city, your own whatever. That'd be great. But now you're starting to get into higher level thinking. That's for the videos in the private over on jamesclovett.com. There's going to be some more videos coming out. Y'all better get over there or not. Stay in the city, stay in your cage. On the out from the outside, your cage looks rusted as shit and busted by me. All I see is rust. But if you see gold on your side, well, they did a good job painting over the rust. So stay in your illusionary world. Or know it's an illusionary world. Know that it's painted and gilded on the inside, but it's rusty on the outside. And operate as a non-belligerent, non-combatant, a private citizen, a state citizen, an American, and come and go as you please. Or stay in your U.S. corporation over the big pond, owning, using membership. How's that been working for you? Do you like it when they tell you you can't collect rainwater because that's a legal person? That's a U.S. citizen. No, no. National can do what they want to do. It's your house. Oh, but you have your house registered. You can do what you want to do, though, right? You're free. Oh, no, you can't. 14th Amendment, U.S. citizen. Yeah, but I'm sure your kids can plan the park that they pay for. Oh, no, 10 o'clock curfew for U.S. citizens. Well, I'm sure you can use your horse. Oh, no, those aren't legal in this city unless you're a cop. But you can travel around in your car. You don't. Excuse me. You can drive in your car. Oh, wait, no, it's registered to them too. And they tell you that your brown water coming out of your sink is safe because it is for a 14th Amendment U.S. citizen. A real American and national wouldn't stand for half of what was just said, and the founding fathers would have pewed somebody right in the face if they would even said something uh, educationally speaking, of course. We're not here to rile anybody up. Just it's too many truth bombs. They're messing with the feed again. There we go. Seeing how I just downloaded a new copy of Zoom and my RAM is up to speed and I don't have any applications open except for like two. Mhm. But it's up to you. Live the life you want to live. This isn't for everybody. Not everybody's meant to live in the savage land and and to be a non-belligerent, non-combatant, and to you know, survive on their own. Some people need help. Special needs people, certain other people, they need help. That's why the system's there. It's kind of funny how if you're age of 18, like I said earlier, you should all be then considered adults and age of majority. But wait, there's more. If you don't know you're supposed to be age of majority and talk appropriately to these people who are our trustees, and they still administer your estate, then you're over the age of 18, but you're not competent. So if you're not competent, then you are still to be administered. And that's what they're doing. And believe it or not, that's where they make the most money, administrating you. And if you pass away while you're there, then they administer your estate. And they probate it. And they give your hard earned assets not to your kids first, but to your creditors first to pay off your debts to their people, which keeps the money in their pool and what little wealth you have or may have out of your family. This is why so many people I've run with who were or are multimillionaires and whatever else create trusts and various other things to pull themselves back into the private or to operate more so private while in the public. I thank all the people out there who appreciate me for keeping my prices where they're at and for helping disseminate this information. Because yes, I could make a lot of money just doing this for private people or working for municipalities or whatever else. But no, I get paid enough to do this. I make a little extra. I donate some of that. I deal with the YouTube attacks, one or two in physical. It is what it is. I was offered a long time ago, if you guys want me to be honest, $1 million to wrap all this up, not do this, work for somebody else. I said no. So when I say you guys thank you for supporting me, or it's I could use your support, getting the videos out, subscribing, watching the paid videos, sharing them, donations, whatever. It's I'm working for you guys, we the people. Why do you think they suppress me getting over 100,000? You watch some other videos, I told you this year would be the year we get over 100,000. It's not going to happen this year. Probably next year. They're suppressing that. They're unsubscribing people. They're disappearing some of my newsletter subscribers. 3,000 just missing. No record of it being gone, just gone. Because, if I had a low IQ, then I wouldn't have noticed 3,000 people missing. Makes me wonder how I had heat stroke twice in 1 year, but I'm sure that's just an accident. The first one, I definitely will say that was on me. Second one, who knows? Things happen. Sure, was an accident. Maybe that's part of my heat stroke because I don't remember everything quite so good anymore. It's a little fuzzy, in all honesty. A little bit, some things. So, having a passport with your private living, real American name, and then a driver's license or state ID with a different name for doing legal things, that's separating the straw man. Creating your own ID with a different name on it while doing right to travel because my government made this ID. This is who I am when operating as an actor for the Levitica national government. And it doesn't say James C. Lovett on this. There's another slide, but I'm not going to show my name, private name on here. Isn't that what the agent said when he Message me, Mr. Lovett, if James Lovett is in fact your real name. Oh yeah, they reach out to me every once in a while. We have some quick conversations. So I'm just saying I don't hear a majority of these gurus, if any of them damn near, talking about their interactions with federal officers and agents and all that good stuff. They sure do have a whole lot to say, yet they don't seem to show any paperwork, any proof. They only give you guys fractions and pieces of things. And they sure do have a whole lot of my name in their mouth for some reason. And I guess that's good because then their viewers want to find out who I am and then they join my channel to see the truth. I live this life, but you need to live how you want to live. If you just want to learn this and not live this way, you don't have to. But I urge you to learn it so that you have the exercise of your freedoms, rights, and liberties before they're lost or obfuscated forever, before they convince a future generation to get rid of the Constitution. And those younger people fully believe that the Constitution is antique, it's archaic, it's not used anymore. Nah, it's just buried. You know how to unbury something? You dig it up. And that's what we're doing here. Can you operate with trusts instead of your name with a social or with an EIN for the trust? Yeah. Is that then a legal person? Yeah. Can they say that's not you? Well, funny because they always seem to say that when you use that name, it's you. So it is and you. It is and isn't you at the same time. Live your lives how you want, guys. This is education. Use it or lose it. It's totally up to you. Separating the straw man is an optional thing, something of which I've already done to some degree, and I'm still continuing my efforts. And as I move forward, I'll bring you some of those things. Some things I'll make into videos because some things aren't for the public side, especially when they're private matters. If you're going to go on a treasure hunt, you have to earn your place on the hunt. Nobody's ever going to do all the work for you. Nobody's going to give you all the treasure, and nor should they. This is true. But if you watch my videos, I've given you guys enough that you should be mighty fine in your daily lives. And if you're not, then you're not watching the videos and you're not learning to put some of these pieces together to see the bigger picture. But once again, that's the beauty of America. You can do as much or as little as you want. You can have as much of your rights or as little as you're willing to fight for. God bless America. God bless you guys. And this is separating the straw man from the living man. I'll talk to you guys later.